Imagine a new path carved across a continent, a ribbon of water connecting two vast oceans. This is the dream of the Nicaragua Canal, a colossal human endeavor. For centuries, a shortcut for ships was envisioned, to avoid the perilous journey around South America. It speaks to our desire to reshape the planet. The Nicaragua Canal is a bold ambition, predating even the Panama Canal, imagining a route linking the Atlantic and Pacific, a marvel of modern engineering, to accommodate the largest ships on Earth, aimed to reshape international trade routes. For Nicaragua, the canal promised a profound economic metamorphosis. This nation is one of the poorest in the Western Hemisphere. It has long struggled with poverty and underdevelopment. The canal was presented as a golden opportunity, a chance to leapfrog into a new era of prosperity. Proponents spoke of billions of dollars in annual revenue. They painted a picture of a vibrant, modern economy. The project was hailed as a pathway out of hardship for millions. It was a dream of national uplift, powered by global trade. The most immediate promised benefit was job creation. Tens of thousands of jobs were anticipated during the construction phase. Many more were expected once the canal became operational. These would range from manual labor to skilled technical positions. The project would require engineers, machine operators, port workers, and support staff. This influx of employment could significantly reduce Nicaragua's high unemployment rates. Beyond direct employment, the canal was expected to spur widespread infrastructure development. The plans included not just the waterway itself, they also encompassed new ports on both the Pacific and Caribbean coasts. New roads would be built to connect these facilities. An international airport was also part of the grand design. The canal was seen as a catalyst for broader national development. The grand vision of the Nicaragua Canal came with a colossal price tag. Estimates for the project's cost soared to around $50 billion. This is an astronomical sum for any nation, let alone a small, developing country like Nicaragua. Securing such massive funding was always the primary challenge. The Nicaraguan government itself did not possess these resources. It relied on a foreign investor to finance and build the canal. This financial dependency created inherent vulnerabilities. The sheer scale of the investment required was daunting. It raised immediate questions about feasibility and sustainability. Doubts about the project's financing emerged almost immediately. The initial promises of swift funding and rapid construction soon met reality. The primary concessionaire, a relatively unknown Chinese company, faced skepticism. International financial institutions showed little public interest in backing the project. Transparency regarding the sources of funding was notably absent. This lack of clarity fueled concerns among economists and potential partners. Many wondered if the project was financially viable, or if it was a speculative venture with an uncertain foundation. Perhaps the most significant concerns centered on the environment. The proposed route cut directly through Lake Nicaragua. This is Central America's largest freshwater lake. It is a vital source of drinking water for many Nicaraguans. At the heart of the Nicaragua Canal project stood an enigmatic figure, Wang Jing. He was a Chinese businessman with a background primarily in telecommunications. His company, HKND Group, was granted the massive concession. This concession gave HKND the right to build and operate the canal for 50 years, and this period could even be extended for another 50 years. Wang Jing presented himself as a visionary, confident in his ability to deliver this monumental project. He became the public face of the canal dream. The HKND Group itself was a source of much discussion and skepticism. It was a relatively new entity, incorporated in Hong Kong, and it appeared to have little prior experience in constructing mega-projects of this nature. Building a transoceanic canal is an incredibly complex undertaking. It requires vast expertise in engineering, logistics, and environmental management. Critics questioned whether HKND possessed the necessary capabilities. The company's opaque structure and limited track record did little to assuage these doubts. The choice of HKND as the sole developer raised many eyebrows internationally. The most persistent question surrounding Wang Jing was about his financial capacity. The prospect of a new canal in Central America, backed by Chinese interests, sent ripples across the geopolitical chessboard. For over a century, the United States had been the dominant external power in this region. The Panama Canal, largely a U.S. creation, symbolized this influence. A Nicaraguan canal, financed and operated by a Chinese company, represented a potential shift. It signaled China's growing economic and strategic reach into Latin America, often viewed as America's backyard. The implications were far-reaching. The Nicaragua Canal was often framed as a direct competitor to the Panama Canal. While proponents argued it could complement Panama by accommodating larger ships, the competitive aspect was undeniable. It could divert traffic and revenue from the established Panamanian route. The United States watched these developments with keen interest, and likely some concern. A new waterway outside its direct sphere of influence could alter strategic calculations. It raised questions about access for naval vessels and brought up concerns about China's long-term intentions in the region. The grand dream of the Nicaragua Canal cast long shadows on the ground. Its proposed route directly impacted tens of thousands of Nicaraguans. Many lived in rural communities along the planned path. These were often farmers, fishers, and indigenous peoples. Their lives and livelihoods were threatened by displacement. The project required the expropriation of vast amounts of land. This human cost became a central point of contention. While economic progress was promised, the immediate impact for many was fear and uncertainty. The social fabric of entire communities was at risk. A controversial law, known as Law 840, granted HKND extensive powers, including the authority to expropriate land with limited recourse for affected landowners. Concerns were widespread about the fairness of compensation. Many feared they would not receive adequate payment for their properties. They worried about losing their ancestral lands and traditional ways of life. The process lacked transparency and meaningful consultation with affected communities. This fueled resentment and a sense of injustice. The promise of a better future seemed distant to those facing immediate dispossession. In response, a significant protest movement emerged. Farmers, environmental activists, and human rights groups voiced strong opposition to the canal. As of today, June 4, 2025, the Nicaragua Canal remains largely a dream on paper. The initial flurry of activity and grand pronouncements has long since subsided. While some minor preparatory work, like access roads, was reported years ago, significant construction never truly began. The massive dredging, the building of ports, the carving of the channel, these monumental tasks remain undone. The $50 billion question of funding was never satisfactorily answered. The ambitious timeline for completion has passed by, unmet. The Great Waterway is still just a line on a map, a concept debated and discussed. The once bright hopes for a swift realization of the project have significantly faded. Wang Jing, the project's main proponent, has seen his personal fortune diminish. His company, HKND Group, has maintained a low profile in recent years. The Nicaraguan government, while officially keeping the concession active, speaks less and less of the canal. Global economic shifts, environmental concerns, and the sheer financial unfeasibility have taken their toll. The initial enthusiasm has given way to a quiet understanding. The dream, in its original grand form, seems to be adrift, lost in a sea of challenges. Yet the Nicaragua Canal project offers valuable lessons. It underscores the immense complexities of mega projects. It highlights the critical need for transparency, especially in financing. It demonstrates the importance of rigorous environmental and social impact assessments.